On this slide is an example of a describe question. And the question is, describe conditions for Scottish soldiers in trenches. It's worth 4 marks. So if you look at the first example, that would gain 0 marks. So one condition Scottish soldiers faced in the trenches was lice. You have to add a bit more to that. So lice, describe the lice, what they caused in the trenches, describe why they were a problem, what they caused, and so on. So for instance, the second one is better because you give a basic point. So in the trenches was infestations of lice in their clothing and on their bodies. Then you add more to that. Lice would cause lots of discomfort as well as cause trench fever from lice bites. So that would gain 2 marks. Because it's a 4 marker, you need another paragraph to gain 2 marks. So start again with the question. So one condition or another condition Scottish soldiers facing the trenches was, and then the next slide, it gives you 2 more examples. So if you look at the first one, trench foot, sentence 1 is worth 1 mark. So trench foot, what caused it? Cold water for long time periods. Then add more to it. So trench foot, describe what it was, describe the dangers of trench foot. It could cause an infection, and in some cases, your foot could be cut off or amputated. The second one was about a lack of food, and the diet was very basic. That's a mark. And then you add more to it. Give examples of their diet. Tinned beef, stale biscuits. And because the diet was so poor, they lacked fitness or energy to fight effectively. So a 4 mark question, describe question, should not take you much time, like 5 minutes in the exam. So all you do is 4 marks, 2 paragraphs, each worth 2 marks, like I've just showed you here. So in your exam, you have to complete explain questions too, and these are always worth 6 marks. So your target is to add 3 paragraphs, each worth 2 marks. The question is, explain the reasons why the conditions were difficult for Scottish soldiers fighting on the Western Front. So you're not describing what the conditions were, you're explaining why they were so bad. Try to think about, I always give this example, like I'm a teacher and describe what I wear to school. So what I wear to school is a shirt and tie, trousers, black shoes. But explain why I wear them. Because I'm a teacher, it's like my uniform. It sets a high standard. If I'm organised and look tidy, then it can make you organised. So that's explaining why I wear. So in this case, you've got to explain. So the harsh weather, why was that a problem? So paragraph 1, there was harsh weather, the trenches were open, bad weather getting in, and explain why that was a problem. So that was bad because the cold weather, stand in mud or rain or water for a long time could cause trench foot. So in a 6 marker, you have to add 3 paragraphs. Like try to think of paragraph 1, sentence 1 a mark, sentence 2 a mark, paragraph 2, sentence 1 a mark, sentence 2 a mark, paragraph 3, sentence 1 a mark, sentence 2 a mark, and in total that is 6 marks. On the next slide is a full answer to this explain question. Alright, so the best way to answer an explain question is actually use the words in the question. So the question was explain why trenches were difficult or explain why life was hard in the trenches. So all you do is one reason conditions were difficult in the trenches for Scottish soldiers was because rats were a problem and they fed off dead bodies. That was bad because, or negative because, it was hard to sleep at night because the rats were everywhere. So paragraph 1 is worth 2 marks. Then, like a robot, another reason why conditions were difficult for Scottish soldiers, just use the question, was because of the exposure to loud noises from shells. Then explain the impact on soldiers. This might cause shell shock, mental health, and many could no longer fight because they were so terrified of the constant bombardment of shells. You've got 4 marks so far. And then another reason why conditions were difficult for Scottish soldiers, again, you're using the question. If you do that, you're actually explaining it. because the diet was so poor, and that was caused by getting poor supplies from home. This was hard because a poor diet made them weaker and they lacked energy. Okay, so in your prelim, you will have to do 4-mark questions and 6-mark questions. A 4-marker should take you about 4 or 5 minutes. A 6-marker no longer than 8 minutes. Okay, so a 4-marker is 2 paragraphs, each worth 2 marks, that's 4. Then a 6-marker is always explain 3 paragraphs, each worth 2 marks. As I said before, try to think about every sentence is worth a mark. So if you've got a 6-marker, you've got paragraph 1, 2 sentences, 2 marks. Paragraph 2, 2 sentences, another 2 marks. Paragraph 3, 2 sentences, another 2 marks. Remember to look over how to answer the 9-mark mini essay. There's one on your prelim, it's in the war topic, and there's a video on that on the YouTube channel in the National 5 History playlist. Good luck in your prelims. And if you need anything checked or marked before your prelim, just send me a message via Google Classroom. Thanks, take care.